Sabres Hockey on MSG is brought to you by First Niagara, the official bank of the Buffalo Sabres. Labatt Blue Light, the official Canadian import of the Buffalo Sabres. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York. Healthy changes everything. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Falls View Casino Resort, the place you want to be. Closed captioning for Buffalo Sabres broadcast, brought to you by Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center. Better hearing starts at Buffalo Hearing and Speech Center, serving Western New York for 60 years.
For Michael Neuvirth. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats to honor the men and women who serve our country. On behalf of Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York's Military Appreciation Program, please welcome retired Sergeant First Class Paul Schuler. Tonight, he stands alongside Doug Allen, who is here to perform O Canada and the Star-Spangled Banner. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Tonight's Sabres game is sponsored by New Era, the official cap of the Buffalo Sabres.
And the lights are up. We welcome you to this, the 121st all-time meeting between the Buffalo Sabres and Detroit Red Wings. And for the Sabres, they're playing tonight for series win number 54. Your starting goaltenders tonight brought to you by Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop. Great tasting food and amazing prices. Jimmy Howard, 30 years of age, makes his third straight start. He is 6-0 with a 1.39 goals against and a .946 save percentage against the Buffalo Sabres. And for Michael Neuvirth today, plays his second Eastern Conference team this season. He faced Anaheim twice, beat the Sharks in San Jose. Toronto, the only other team that he has faced this season until today from the same conference. Your referees tonight, Chris Lee and Graham Skilleter. The linesmen are Brian Pancic and Andy McKelman. And the Buffalo Sabres back home after the game last night on the road in Pittsburgh. This broadcast brought to you in HD by the new Stereo Advantage. See the first LG OLED at the new Stereo Advantage on Worley Drive. Buffalo from left to right here in the opening period against the Red Wings in their classic red and white jerseys. Predominantly white on the road this season. And the Buffalo Sabres with a shoot in behind the net, Jimmy Howard. 18 career shutouts. Red Wings get the puck to center. Josh Georges and Tyler Myers, one of the consistencies to this Buffalo lineup here early this evening. Many changes to talk about as this game wears on. Johan Franzen back in the lineup, gets to the Detroit blue line before he's knocked down. Franzen missed the last 6 games due to injury for the Red Wings. Sabres bring it in now down the right wing side. Mitchell lays it around to the far point. Lazarus with a shot, and that one wide, comes back to the near side. Rasmus Ristolainen plays it to the far corner. Waiting for it is Brendan Smith, tries to turn it back behind the net. And a high stick call coming up here in a face-off coming outside the blue line.
And that puck will be faced off right in front of the Detroit bench. But here tonight, big test for the Sabres. Yesterday, not a very good game for them. Talking to the guys after, they're very disappointed. They were down and out, so it's going to be very interesting to see. Can they rebound here today? Do they dwell on it, or can they put it to pass and move forward here? So a huge test for this hockey team.
Johan Larsson out with Cody Hodgson and Chris Stewart in his first game since being called up from the American Hockey League club in Rochester. See if he can't continue his point production that he had going down there with 3 goals and 5 assists in 9 games played to this point in the season. Thomas Yurko lifts it into the Buffalo zone. Sabres come up with it behind their net in the far corner. Nikita Zadorov getting a chance to play once again, and he's paired with Strachan on the back end, who takes a bump on the near boards. Yurko with the hit. Playing behind the Buffalo net. Chris Stewart comes up with the puck, and he'll backhand it to the blue line. It's brought out to center now by Cody Hodgson. One man in front of him. Hodgson then ghosting to the right-hand side. Well, Stewart darted in over the line offside on the left wing.
Well, Dan, Johan Larsson very, very upset when he got sent down to Rochester before the season started and thinking, hey, I didn't get the opportunity that I deserved. So here, he's getting the opportunity to come back and prove to everybody you made a mistake. So this guy, expect to see him leave everything he's got out there, because if not, he's just kind of lip service. You got to prove that if you're going to talk about it, you got to back it up as well.
Flynn with a shot off the faceoff coming down the right wing circle. That is handled easily by Jimmy Howard, the 30-year-old keeper for the Red Wings. Detroit into the Buffalo zone, no possession, no. And the loose puck, it's Joakim Anderson just ahead of the Buffalo blue line. He'll send it in to the far corner. A lot of people talk about teams that have a chance to sit back and wait for a team that's coming off a game the night before, and there are those that will argue it's the team that played the night before, whether it be a good or a bad night, that maybe has the advantage. Sabres keeping the puck in the zone. That advantage, of course, would be in just having your legs into the game early. Here's Flynn on the left wing boards for Cody McCormick. He stood up on the face-off dot, gets it to the front of the net, and it bounces high into the air to the near corner. Sabres with good puck possession here in the Red Wing zone. Red Wings with Joakim Anderson sending it right back on to Jimmy Howard, his own keeper. And now it's Drew Miller, who will send the pass here for Anderson on the left wing. He'll cross the center ice red line and shoot it in behind the Buffalo net. Red Wings making changes. Almost 3 minutes into this opening period, no scores. The Sabres trying to come up the right wing side. Giannis tip into the Red Wing zone. And it's picked up by the Red Wings on the top line out there now. Datsuk, Abdelkader, and Henrik Zetterberg. Tyler Myers in behind the Buffalo net. Pass between the legs of Gianta. That allows Zetterberg to play it back into his own zone. Nicholas Cromwell backing up. He and Jonathan Eriksson, the defensive pair for the Red Wings. Datsuk has to pick it out of his skates. Crosses the Buffalo line. Cromwell joins the rush, takes the shot. And London Oivert with the save, and then after the whistle, a collision against the glass as Zemgus Girgensons gives Justin Abdelkader a welcome to Buffalo. Or make that Josh Georges, my apologies.
Well, Abdelkader and Girgensons, similar players. They're going to be in your face all night. But Sabres have a scoring chance. Brian Flynn just gets the puck and throws the puck to the net. You got Deslauriers going to the front, but not able to get his stick on it. Gets caught up into his feet. He tries kicking the puck back forward, so he's able to maybe get a hold of it. Bad bounce gets by him into the corner, but you got to continue to have traffic all night in front of Jimmy Howard. That is the only way you're going to develop any type of offense against this Detroit team. Very sound, very good defensively, and they're going to show a ton of patience and wait for you to make the smallest breakdown possible and jump on it.
Well, it was Girgensons with the hit. Georges came in afterwards to be there for his teammate. This mustache has me doubting myself, Rob, up here.
Well, be your own man, Dan.
I know, Ronnie.
Don't be dragged down to those two levels.
Here's Mitchell now sending it in behind the Red Wings goal. Howard will leave it. Sabres with good pressure down low. Mitchell knocks it down on the near boards. Tyler Ennis facing down Darren Helm, who keeps the puck moving to the far side. The Red Wings are going to send this puck the length of the ice. No icing, no linesman wave it off. Detroit changing. Sabres from their own end. Rasmus Ristolainen into center. Pass to the right wing. Taken by Tyler Ennis. Ennis into the slot. Red Wings break it up. And the Sabres go back in pretty good position as 3 Red Wings come back. And a nice stick in the passing lane by Andre Meszaros breaks up the rush. Sabres get possession back again. 2 defensive pairs, of course, with the changes to the lineup today. Meszaros and Ristolainen getting a chance to see what they can do together on the back end. Play in behind the Buffalo net. Long pass, looking for Larson. The Buffalo side of center. He's knocked off the puck. Now Cody Hudson, right wing at center. Out there with Stewart to his right. Hudson carries. Drop pass for Stewart. He takes a shot on that one. Ricochets high off the white mesh, and the faceoff will stay in the Detroit zone.
Now Chris Stewart just taking a nice wrist shot hard up top. Trying to find a way to the net more than anything here. He's got traffic going. He's just going to try to muscle this puck through. There's guys going through. There's enough traffic. And he did. He got it right off the far post and out.
Face-off won by Buffalo. Shot off the draw. Ricochets into the near corner. Cody Hudson with that face-off win. Place down in the near corner. Going Larson to the near post now. Battling for the puck in behind the net. Facing the glass. Knocked down. Gets back up. Stewart looking to center. That's off escape. Red Wings pick it off. Tight quarters. Those Sabres again breaking up the Red Wings. Trying to get out of their own zone. Stewart behind the net. All over Nicholas Kronwall, who plays it ahead now to Drew Miller. He'll lift it down the boards right wing side. And Anderson chasing after the Buffalo zone in behind the net. Anderson beating to the puck of the Sabres now. Zadorov turns with it behind his own net. Puck comes in front. Strachan, though, there to bail him out. Picks it up, carries to the blue line. Left wing to center. And then puts that puck in the Red Wings zone by about 5 feet. Cody Hudson trying to keep it in. Red Wings with possession now will move it out. Before they do, they're going to finish the line change. Nicholas Delorier deep in on the forecheck. And now it's Henrik Zetterberg making his way to center. Right over the Buffalo line, over on the far wing. Right side, sending it to the net. Josh George's stick on the ice to break it up. Back to Zetterberg, going the slot. Takes the shot and he fires that one. Off the end boards. Puck comes to the near side of the Buffalo zone. Zetterberg comes up with it. Plays it back to the line. Ryan Lashoff getting into his first game here this season tonight in Buffalo. Datsuk makes a nifty move in the slot and his shot wide of the glove side of Michael Neuvert. Sabres on the far boards in their own zone. Flynn hitting the puck against the boards. The referee hauling to get that puck moving, and that does come free now to Cody McCormick. And he'll backhand it to center, where the Red Wings keep possession. Sabres making what changes they can as Detroit puts it in behind the Buffalo net. And the Red Wings will finish the change as well. That top line leaves the ice. Buffalo down to center ice. Pass here on the right wing side. Zemgus Girgensons looks to drive to net. Takes a quick little backhand from a tough angle. Howard handles that. The Red Wings bring it back with Helm at center. Right wing over the Buffalo line. Darren Helm feeds it for Nyquist, who's had a strong start to this season. He sweeps it in behind the Sabres net. Rasmus Ristolainen trying to play it to the far corner. Gives it right back to Nyquist, who tries to get to the side of the net. But it's sealed off enough, and the puck comes free to the boards near side. Sabres lifted the length of the ice. This will be an icing call. With 7 minutes gone in a scoreless first period.
It's a great feeling when the Sabres win.
Last year, we won over 2,000 cases for our clients. So if you need help, give us a call.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres have had trouble scoring goals. Detroit ranking tied for 5th in the NHL for goals against so far. They average 2 a game. Minnesota leading the league at 1.8 to this point. Sabres in behind their own net. Haven't been chasing the game so much here in this first period. Here's Zemgus Girgensons now, and he's had, in his very young career, some great success against Detroit. Scored his first NHL goal against this team. Zemgus doesn't mind facing the Red Wings, although it's, as I mentioned, early in his career. Detroit from behind their own net with 12.5 to go. They'll start the break onto the right wing to center. Over the Sabres line and behind the net, and chases on to the puck. Down in the near corner. Looking back to the point. Instead, it's down low. Yurko has it go off his skate. Thomas Tatar, Riley Sheehan, and Thomas Yurko for Detroit on this shift. And the Sabres coming back to center ice. Tyler Ennis for Stafford, and now it's Mitchell leaving it for Stafford. Back to Mitchell. Pass between his skates now into the goal line in the near corner of the Red Wings zone. Yurko left wing at center. He'll shoot it into the Buffalo end of the ice. Detroit again with another line change. Strachan. The pass for Cody Hodgson. He's quick to center ice and down the right wing. Hodgson chasing after the puck down in the near corner. Bounces free up the near boards. Taken by Anderson. Played ahead into the Buffalo zone. Too far for Drew Miller. Continues the forecheck, but the Sabres find their way to the right-hand side and risk the line with a shooting. That comes all the way around the far side. Sabres now will change. Detroit, couple of new bodies as Datsuk just skates right up the middle of the ice and in over the Buffalo zone. Down the right wing side, Datsuk on his backhand, sends it in front. And Michael Neuvirth's going to hold on to that with Justin Abdelkader parked in front of the net looking for the rebound. 11:06 to go in the first. No score in Buffalo. In Sabres history, November 2nd, 1996. As you see the highlights of Dominik Hasek making 32 saves, Patrick Roy 20. Sabres and Avalanche play to the 5th scoreless tie in Sabres franchise history.
And Dom Hasek will be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame on November 17th. And his number 39 will be retired by the Sabres on January 13th. He'll be going up with all the other greats here in the rafters.
For Hasek, 81 regular season shutouts, 14 more in the postseason during his career. Red Wings off the faceoff in the Buffalo zone. Zemgus Girgensson, smart corner. In a battle for the puck with Datsuk, and he comes up with it behind the net. Datsuk centering pass picked off by Giunta. Kept in though at the near point by Nicholas Kronwall. And now Kronwall is forced back out to center. And Eriksson over on the far side of the ice into the center circle for Henrik Zetterberg. Bouncing puck away from him. Zetterberg takes it back from Datsuk. And now Kronwall jumps into the play. Red Wings so connected as they move this puck up the ice. Here's Abdelkader with a shot from the left wing circle. That comes all the way out the far side. Kronwall over on his other side. Plays it off on the right wing. So for Zetterberg here at the near post. Zetterberg trying to play it back to the point. And Detroit will keep possession as Datsuk backs up inside his own zone, being watched by Giunta. Datsuk will go to the bench, and the Red Wings will settle in behind Jimmy Howard, the Syracuse native, with half of this first period now in the books. No score on the board. Long pass up the right wing. Nyquist with a tip, and Helm racing after it. In behind the Buffalo goal. Stafford with him. Helm comes up with a puck, sends it for Nyquist at the circle over the far side. The shot deflects off the end glass. And now it's Mitchell for Buffalo. Right wing to center. Pass goes off. Escape for Drew Stafford. Sends it across the face of the goal here to the near post. Ristolainen with a shot. Pad save made by Howard. Rebound now. Tyler Ennis with a shot. And that one deflects high and off the white mesh. But a nice counter by the Buffalo Sabres with 9.5 to go here in the opening period. No score. The Ford dealers of Western New York replay brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Nikita Zadorov into his second game of this season. And you see him showing nice patience on the offensive zone, not jumping in, taking himself out of the play. And here in the defensive zone, just finishing his man down low. But as soon as he hits the ground, realizes get back up, get back into position and moving up the ice. But playing with Strachan, I think it's really going to help this kid because he can be a little more aggressive. Strachan stays back a little bit, plays good sound defense behind him, and he can be that player that we're known to be, stepping up, looking for that big hit, getting more involved physically.
Sabres sent back into their own end. Off the draw in the Detroit zone. Nikita Zadorov trying to backhand one off the near boards. Cross ice, that's knocked down, and Detroit will send Buffalo back into their own zone. Strachan, last man back, and he's got one watching him as he brings it to the near corner as Drew Miller stays with him. And we've got a holding call, it looks like, coming up here.
Yeah, to Strachan.
Well, it's time for a Detroit power play. Stay tuned for the Karuba Collision coming up later in this game. Go to Sabres.com, vote on the Karuba Collision of the Year, and you'll have a chance to win season tickets for next season.
Yeah, down in the corner, Tyson Strachan here battling along the wall with Drew Miller, and he just kind of reaches out, grabs onto him. And that's it right there. And Detroit's going on the power play here. 9:04 left in this first period.
Detroit's power play 24th in the NHL at the moment, 5 for 39. They win the draw cleanly. Back to the line. Kronwall sends it far circle. One-timer. Josh Georges intercepts and sends down the ice. This Buffalo Sabres penalty kill is brought to you by Napa. Napa has the know-how. Buffalo penalty kill, 9 for 46, 20th in the NHL. Just over 80% if you're following the numbers. Speaking of numbers, how about 13 for the Red Wings? Carries the puck to center. Pavel-Datsyuk. Some of the highlights he's already had this season for Detroit. In his usual form. Out with Nyquist on the power play. So some time and space behind their own net to clear this puck again, and they do so. Girgensons, Mitchell, Myers and Georges go to the bench. So that crew is done on a penalty kill, and with 1:15 to go in the Detroit power play. Datsyuk with a drop pass. Zetterberg carries over the line, and the shot snapped on goal, stopped easily by Neuvert. Nobody near the Buffalo net with that shoot in, but Detroit does win a face-off in the offensive zone.
All right, Dan, you talked about Pavel Datsyuk already. Very electrifying player. He's got to seize the ice along with Zetterberg, two guys that you just always have to be aware of. You see right there, Henrik Zetterberg not hesitating to take that shot, using the man as a screen, shooting the puck towards the net from out high, just so the goaltender can get a hold of the puck, get it changed, get the whistle, and get it changed.
Sheehan wins the faceoff. Back to DeKeyser at the point. His shot blocked. Bouncing puck in the slot. Played back to DeKeyser again. Set it off to the right-hand side. Red Wings top of the zone. Dan DeKeyser, 24-year-old Detroit native, anchoring this power play. There's a pass cross ice and a one-timer for the far circle. That one goes wide of the goal. Gustav Nyquist leading Detroit with 4 power play goals this season. Buffalo able to send the puck down the ice with 40 seconds to go in the Red Wing power play. Only 2 players for the Red Wings have power play goals this season. There's Johan Franzen, who doesn't have one yet. Back into the lineup, as I mentioned, from 6 games out due to his injury. Here's DeKeyser again, top of the zone. 24 seconds left in the power play. Jurko breaks his stick as he tries to take a shot from the near circle. And then he takes a hit from Zemgus Girgensons as Buffalo send the puck down the ice. And Jimmy Howard will leave it behind the net. Down to 10 seconds left in this penalty kill for Buffalo. No score in the first period. 7:11 left in the opening frame. Red Wings trying to drive towards the net. Coming down that far side, Luke Glendening. He's in front of the net now. And is Buffalo able to clear it to the point near side? Stafford can't get it out. And back to 5 aside in this scoreless game. Shot 6-5 in favor of the Red Wings. Stolen by Anderson. Glendening over at the Sabres line. He's sent to the boards by Nick Delorier. Rasmus Ristolainen makes one move at center. Moves it into the corner of the Red Wings zone. Buffalo changing. Delorier on the forecheck, forcing the Red Wings out early. And it's Datsyuk shooting it in. Bouncing puck. And with Abdelkader bearing down on Michael Neuvert, he takes no chances. And Michael covers up for a faceoff. Don't miss color analyst Rob Ray on WGR 550. The former Sabre takes you inside the locker room, gives you a player's view when he joins Schopp and the Bulldog game days at 4 on the home of the Buffalo Sabres. WGR Sports Radio 550.
I don't know why they say we take you inside the locker room, because we do it from the stand out front, Dan.
Well, maybe you should start doing it. Maybe you should do it from inside the locker room.
A lot of flow to this game here so far, Dan. Not a lot of issues in the neutral zone. Both teams playing very strong, standing up inside the neutral zone, not allowing that free penetration, and they're forcing the other side to dump the puck in. And there's not been a lot of sustained pressure down low for either side.
Off the face-off, Stewart moves it to the far corner, and the Sabres will make their way out. Tyson's up the left wing, but the shoot-in is down to this right wing corner. Chris Stewart bouncing, puck knocks it behind the net. Brendan Smith with a backhand pass ahead, and Nyquist finds Franzen, and Franzen will shoot it ahead. Helm chasing after it. He's tied up, though, as Rasmus Ristolainen stayed with him all the way. Bouncing puck, Cody Hodgson trying to clear it out at the near point. Kept in by Smith. Mazeros knocking Franzen down to the ice, and the Sabres will bring it back. 3 of them now to center. Cody Hodgson's down the right wing. He's got room to shoot. Takes the shot. Howard the save. Came out to meet him well outside the blue paint to make that stop. Nyquist now, left wing to the Buffalo line and in. He'll shoot it behind the net. Red Wings changing. Mazeros in behind the Buffalo goal with 5:24 to go. The pass and the breakout now with Gianta. In over the Detroit line. Takes the shot on that one. Comes all the way back to the near boards. Out to center ice. Strachan. Sends a pass across the ice. And then it comes all the way back to the near side and up over the glass into the crowd with 5:07 to go in the first period. Sabres hanging over the wings so far. There's no score. New York Lotto inside the numbers in a scoreless first period with 5:07 to go between the Wings and the Buffalo Sabres. Since the 1997-98 season, the Detroit Red Wings have won more games than any other team in the National Hockey League. 867, 753, Rob, in the regular season, 114 playoff games.
And Dan, this is one of these organizations that not so long ago, within the last 20 years, struggled for an awful long time until they found the proper formula. They got established. They got a good base of excellent players, and were able to build from there. 25 years later, they're still feeding off of it.
Founded in 1926, this Red Wings team with a lot of history to it. And of course, we once again pass along our best wishes to Gordie Howe, who continues his recovery down in Texas. The Red Wings, Pavel Datsyuk with speed now into the Buffalo zone. Takes the shot and a big save by Michael Neuvert as he fires out the pad and kicks out to the near boards. And the Red Wings back out to center ice with the puck. Advocator trying to go up the middle. Advocator stays with him. He's knocked to the ice by Josh Georges. Sabres bank pass off the boards. Gianta can't corral it. And DeKaiser will back up in behind Jimmy Howard with 4:16 to go in the first period of play. Pass up to center. Deflects in the far corner of the Buffalo zone. Glendening after it. He's got Rasmus Ristolainen all over him like glue on the far side. Ristolainen, his hands up in the air. Took one hand off the stick there, trying to keep Glendening on the boards. It continues down the side of the net, and a quick shot comes to goal, and Michael Neuvert makes the save as Joakim Andersson, Luke Glendening, and Drew Miller go to work deep in the Buffalo zone.
Well, Brad May guaranteed that Michael Neuvert would have a good game here tonight. To this point, very good. He's also been lucky, too, right here. It's a great example. Pavel Datsyuk comes down, takes the shot. See it go right off the shaft of his stick. It's labeled for the far side. But got a little help from his stick there, the shaft, and it deflects over into the corner.
You call it luck, Rob, he calls it skill. That's what he was playing.
Oh, he knew it. He put it in the perfect spot.
Doesn't need to use a whole pad. Face off to his left. Red Wings win the draw, send it behind the Buffalo net. Nyquist protecting the puck. They send it in the middle. Stewart intercepted. They gave it back again. Quick shot stopped. Neuvert looks to his left as the Red Wings bring it back to the point near side. Just kept inside the blue line. Nyquist behind the net. Mazeros watching him. Kevin comes over to help out in the slot with a shot on that one. Ricochets to the far boards, and a penalty coming up as Johan Franzen is taken down in the far circle.
Mazeros is going for tripping.
Well, they draw this, Rob. These guys never stop moving their feet, don't they?
Well, that's the thing. That's what you got to be so careful of. The Detroit Red Wings get it down low. They rotate. They'll move the puck. They'll circle. And they just wait for you to make that mistake, or in this case, draw a penalty and leads to a power play. You just see Franzen pulling off the wall. You got to take the body. You got to get yourself in a position there. Andre Mazeros is expecting to come down to the wall. He's anticipating, but you can't get that far committed. You got to slow down a little bit to see which way he's going to go with that attack.
Detroit's power play 0 for 1 with 2 shots, and the Sabres right off the faceoffs, and the Wings back in behind their own net to set it up. At center for Zetterberg, went off his stick. Buffalo shoot it right down on Jimmy Howard, who directs it to the far corner. Wide open corner. McCormick down low for Buffalo. Plays it behind the Red Wings net, but now it's Nyquist with a drop pass. And Kronwall will bring it to center for Pavel Datsyuk. And across the Buffalo line. Datsyuk plays it off. And they set up now down to the right side. Back to Datsyuk with a one-timer, and that one misses the mark. Comes back to the point. Kronwall, shot blocked. Sabres with a chance to send it down the ice. McCormick with the block, and Tyler Myers taking out the garbage, sending the puck down in behind the Detroit goal with 1:07 to go in the Red Wings power play, and Dan DeKeyser skates to center. Pass for Yurko off the left wing boards, too far. Play to the far corner. Off to the left of Michael Neuvert. Red Wings to DeKeyser, top of the zone. Power play with 47 seconds to go. Shot again, blocked in front. Zemgus Girgensons this time sends a bouncer down on Jimmy Howard, who has to escort that puck to the right corner. Kaiser again to center ice. And offside. Red Wings looking rather confused on that entry into the Buffalo zone.
Well, the Sabres getting the opportunity to get the puck down. They're making no mistakes. They're getting it down 200 feet, making Detroit come back. And what they've done a pretty decent job here so far in the first period, not only killing the penalty, but 5-on-5 is not totally giving up the blue line. They're coming through the neutral zone. They're clogging up very good, and they're still challenging when they get to the blue line. They're just not allowing to step over and gain control of the zone.
Red Wings into the Buffalo zone. Side of the net. Myers knocked down. Buffalo hollering for a call. Fans don't like the fact there wasn't one, but the Red Wings keep puck possession. This power play continues to work for another 10 seconds. There's a centering pass in front. Puck bounces high to the near side. Only Nyquist and Jackson with power play goals for the Red Wings to this point in the season. And in this instance, they won't get one either. We stay scoreless as Meszaros races out of the penalty box over to the Buffalo bench with 1:13 to go in the opening period. Behind the Wings net, Drew Stafford in deep on the forecheck. Helps with the turnover. Torrey Mitchell sends one that deflects high into the mesh, and the draw will stay in the Detroit zone with exactly a minute to go here in period number 1.
Well, you've got a good forecheck here by the Sabres, and they're not taking any chances. They're sending one guy in here deep. You see the second guy coming into good position. Third guy way back in the neutral zone already. They're anticipating the breakout. And right here, they're just forcing, waiting for a turnover by Detroit, and able to jump on it. But showing good patience here in the neutral zone, not giving up area that they can gain speed in and attack.
Red Wings now bring it up. Drew Miller to center. Pass too far for Glenn Denning. Sabres bring it back again to center ice, and now back from Meszaros and Ristolainen. Right wing to center. He'll shoot it in. Howard looks to his right as it settles in the far corner. Got back in behind the Detroit net. Now there's a pass across, and Howard got the stick down to block that one. And the Red Wings will have Brendan Smith bring it out towards center ice. Pass for Anderson here on the left wing. Too far. 23 seconds to go. Drew Stafford just inside his own blue line. Sends the puck the length of the ice. No icing on the play. And Brendan Smith, his brother, suiting up with the Buffalo Bandits in the National Lacrosse League. On the ice for the Red Wings, who shoot it in behind the Buffalo net with 5 seconds to go in this opening period. No score. A lot of Red Wing fans in the building. It's a quiet building this afternoon after the first 20 minutes. Johan Larsson with an extra little shove to Thomas Tatar as they skate alongside one another at the end of the period.
That's drawing everybody's attention down to that end of the ice here. I don't think anything's going to come out of it. But the Sabres coming off a very, very tough night in Pittsburgh last night here this first period. Very good fundamentally, doing a good job slowing down the neutral zone. Give up a couple opportunities in the offensive zone, but you got to stay out of the box. You can't continue to take penalties against this team.
Well, the Sabres hold their own against Detroit. Pavel Datsyuk and company, who are 0 for 2 on the power play. That means the penalty kill for Buffalo is perfect after 20. First intermission coming up next from First Niagara after a scoreless 20 minutes.
Sabres Hockey on MSG is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Buffalo Sabres. Brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost, built Ford tough. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Brought to you by your Buffalo Hyundai dealers. Brought to you by Documentelligence and Konica Minolta, the official office technology company of the Buffalo Sabres. Get tomorrow's office today. New York State Smokers Quit Line. For support, call 1-866-NY-QUITS and quit smoking today.
Period one highlights, we mentioned already that Michael Neubert getting the call today for the Sabres and seeing 7 shots at even strength and 3 more from the Red Wings via the power play. That was clearly his best as it goes off the shaft of the stick on Pavel Datsyuk. While at the other end, Jimmy Howard, who sports a perfect career mark against the Sabres, was 7 for 7, all even strength shots. As Buffalo had the only 2 penalties of the period, Strachan and Mazzaros. We'll see if Buffalo can earn a power play opportunity moving forward. What happened in the frame was a little bit of zone time created, especially by those power plays for Detroit. Results in a -13 Corsi number for the Sabres. Buffalo did have the early edge in shots and in play, probably for the first half of the period. You see even up as far as opportunities from the red zone and from the top of the circles down pretty much. As far as the puck possession numbers are concerned, you look at it from the bigger picture over the course of 20 minutes, and definitely it was tilted towards the Red Wings at 12.5 minutes, and in zone 447 of puck possession for Detroit. And I would dare say that if you were to break it down individually, Pavel Datsyuk, Brad, had the puck more than any player in that opening period.
When it's on his stick, it's very difficult to get it off of him, no question about it. One thing in the second period that I'm looking for, the Detroit Red Wings on their set breakout are looking for the long bomb pass to the far. That would be the right-handed side of the ice at the far blue line. They've tried to spring a couple guys and get the puck down the ice quickly. Let's see what Buffalo does to defend that.
To Dan and Rob for period 2.
Well, they were the Cougars and they were the Falcons, and in 1932 they became the Detroit Red Wings. And the history and run of championships that the red and white have put up has been phenomenal, and certainly a model for many teams to follow. And for the Buffalo Sabres, scoreless after 20 minutes with Detroit, and looking to build on that. As Buffalo from right to left in the second period, and right off the opening faceoff, we have an icing call, and the faceoff will be down to the right of Rob Ray, down in the far corner.
Well, Dan, I talked to Brian Trottier between periods. He said that period was strong and resolved. He said Ted Mullen had a great talk with his team before leading up to this game about facing your fears and not panic. And he thought they went out in that first period and did exactly what the guys talked about. He said they got to keep getting the puck deep, getting it to the net, and continue to slow this Detroit team down in the neutral zone.
Here's Matt Molson in the near corner, left wing side. It is all about getting that confidence back. And once you get it back, you can do some great things. Right now, the Sabres searching for it. And on the defensive, as Abdelkader drives the side of the net, and Neubert will hold on. Justin Abdelkader coming down the right side, the 27-year-old, taking it himself to Neubert.
Now, this is what you're going to expect out of this young man. I compare him to Girgensons a little bit. You know, he's the type of guy, great wheels. He's got good hands when he's got the opportunity. And he's also that pass guy. He can be in your face. He's going to finish all night long and throw you off your game. So that's the type of player right there that Zemgus Girgensons can model himself after.
Sabres in their own end. Tyson Strachan able to get the puck outside the zone. That was deflected. Some icing on the play, and the puck down in behind the Detroit net. Brendan Smith turns it over. Drew Stafford picks it up. Torrey Mitchell sends it down under the goal line. Dan DeKaiser is there. He plays it to an open side. Zadorov jumps down and centers in front. That is blocked and deflects onto the stick of Joakim Andersson, who leads the Red Wings up into the Buffalo zone. Glenn Denning in the far corner. Tyson Strachan stays with him. And now Torrey Mitchell with his back to the Buffalo blue line. Sends a pass up ahead. Tyler Ennis will chase after it. Anderson stays with him, and I believe Anderson's going to get a penalty on the play for interference. So Buffalo is about to go to their first power play.
Well, that was just great work. And what he did, it forced Anderson to take a penalty here. Tyler Ennis just finding a way, trying to get by his man. You see Anderson goes all the way out of his way to cut Ennis off. And when he does that, he doesn't even attempt to go back and play the puck. He's just trying to pinch Ennis off, not allow him in. So the interference call's made. The Sabres finally get their opportunity here on the power play.
Cody Hodgson to take the face-off, wins it, but at the far point, just Georges can't get there to keep it in. He has to backtrack out to center. Buffalo Sabres power play brought to you by New Wave Energy, your local energy supplier, and the power behind the Buffalo Sabres. The power play still at work. 1 for 38. Detroit's penalty kill 2 for 34. 94.1 percentage. Yes, first in the NHL as far as only allowing those 2 goals so far. Sabres with Gianta in the near circle. Sends it down to the goal line. Movement off puck by Buffalo. Finds Gianta. Sends it in front all alone. Stewart can't pull it to the forehand to finish. right in front of Jimmy Howard, and he had all day, it seems, standing there. And now the puck at the side of the net. Howard will freeze it, reaching back.
Well, I would say Chris Stewart would like this one back. And I think it was a matter of him not thinking he had as much time as he did. And he's clear. Nobody close to him. He's got plenty of time to make any move that he wanted to. The initial pass was in his skates a little bit when he tries to go to the forehand. He just loses it. But he had plenty of time to do whatever he wanted out there. Just a matter of maybe squeezing that stick just a little too tight.
Sabres win the draw. Here's Mazzaros to the near circle. Brings it down in the slot again. And shot by Drew Stafford deflects wide. Tyler Myers lays it off to the right wing. Sabres trying to bank it out in front again. Comes back to the point. Myers turning away from pressure on the near boards. Power play with 55 seconds left in it for the Buffalo Sabres as the puck is stolen by Brendan Smith. Clearing attempt blocked, but Detroit gets a second chance, and they send Buffalo back into their own end. Red Wings make wholesale changes on the penalty kill. 40 seconds to go with the man advantage as Buffalo brings it up to center with Tyler Ennis, who's tripped up, and Buffalo's about to go on a two-man advantage with 34 seconds left in the first penalty to Detroit.
Yeah, Helm's going. They're calling hooking. And that was right through the neutral zone. You see it once again, the speed of Tyler Ennis gets hauled down. And he's responsible for drawing both of these penalties just because of the way he skated.
That's one thing he does every game, Rob.
Yeah, it is. And you get that little second effort, an extra effort, and we're trying to bust through things and work through things. Sometimes you'd be amazed when it happens. And
someone's called timeout.
well, Ted Nolan has, and he's talking to his guys here, and he's making sure that everybody's going to be on the same page. And Brian Trottier's got the board up, and he wants to make sure that they take advantage of this opportunity. They got 34 seconds, 5-on-3, and that's their chance to try to get their first one of this hockey game. To show patience, take your time, look for that big shot, but I think you have to establish the shot too. But you're going to have to make sure when that shot's taken, you come up with the puck again, that it doesn't go down 200 feet. You got to work your way back up. So making sure right off the face-off, everybody knows exactly where they're going. And you know what? Talking about being loose, you got Ted Nolan and his coaching staff smiling and laughing here on the bench just because of the guys. You're seeing their heads up, and everybody's communicating. There's a smile and a sense on this bench that, hey, we got nothing to lose here. Let's just throw it at it. So I like to see the way they're approaching it.
Face off to the left of Howard. Sabres win the draw. Back to the line. Two-man advantage going to work. Down to the right side. Tyler Ennis, far circle, holds it. Up top, Mazzaros sends it down to the near post. Mazzaros walks in. It's under the heel of his stick and down the ice. 16 seconds left in the two-man advantage, and Tyler Myers with some open ice. Do we see him go coast to coast maybe for just the second time this season? He elects to shoot it in. Drew Stafford in the near corner with 4 seconds to go in the two-man advantage. Red Wings come up with it, and it's sent down the ice by Glendening. He'll continue to chase after the puck and draw a penalty here on Matt Molson, who best be careful. He's already got 2, and now conversing with the referee, his displeasure.
Yeah, he's going for interference here. He should have just let that man go. There was no reason for him to continue. He got to bump him a couple times to try to slow him down here. But he's got to take a quick look off to his left side and realize there's help back there. There's somebody back there helping him out. He is not there all by himself. Tyler Myers is in perfect position coming back, cutting him off, and he would have been there to bail him out.
So 1:23 left in the Darren Helm penalty. And now what was a 5-on-3 is worked itself into a 4-on-4. The Sabres in their own zone with Gianta trying to play it away from Pavel Datsyuk, and he does on the far boards. Buffalo now to center. Gianta interfered with, fans in the building do feel, right in front of the Buffalo bench. Puck was long gone. Gianta trying to get to it and unable to make his way around the Detroit defender. Zetterberg turns at the Buffalo blue line and backhands one in behind the Sabres goal where Myers is there for Buffalo. Gianta for Georges now will make his way left wing to center. In across the Detroit line, stops, tried to play it deep, it's blocked. And back with it now, Zetterberg will shoot it into the Buffalo zone and go to the Wings bench. 30 seconds away from Helm stepping out of the box, so we stay at 4-on-4. Chris Stewart, 2 Red Wings watching him. That opens up a one-on-one for Tyler Ennis down here in the far corner. Ennis with a pass back to the top of the circle. Stewart turning with it. He's pinned against the boards, trying to fight off the check of Kindle, and he does. Now here's another penalty coming up to Detroit as Tyler Ennis has the puck down in the near circle. Neubert's gone to the bench. Ennis behind the net, still with the puck. Ennis trying to play it back to the point, but lost it.
Yeah, tripping call coming up here.
1 second left in the Helm penalty.
Yeah, Francis going here for tripping.
Sorry, Rob Helm's come out of the box. There's still 1 second showing on the clock.
Now Josh George is on the 4-on-4. He's going to end up getting this puck up to the line right here. He's realizing he's got to change. He's got to make sure that goes deep, because right there it's a quick turnover. All of a sudden Detroit's coming back. And it's just a little simple thing. Just get it by, get it down. You're able to get the change. And then here's the penalty. Once again, Tyler Ennis just working hard. Got 3 penalties here in the last couple of minutes. So this kind of goes to show you work hard, good things will happen for you.
Time had expired in Helm's penalty, so he's on the Red Wings bench. Detroit will bring the puck to center and in over the Buffalo line. Turning with it is Thomas Tatar on the left wing. Sends it in behind the net. Mazzaro's turning with it, trying to skate away from Riley Sheehan. And he's out there along with Tatar in this 4-on-4. Sabres right wing to center ice. Stewart will chase after the Kaiser, and Stewart behind the net. Stewart in the far corner trying to poke it back to the point. Hunter Mazzaro's bank pass off the boards. Tatar intercepts. And everyone looking around to see if Mazzaros is going to get called for a penalty. Now here's a turnover. Shane going to the net. To Neubert. Bowled over into the net, but stays with the play and keeps the puck out. And the Sabres transition with a 4-on-2 the other way. Matt Molson over the line with a drop pass for Ennis. Ennis with a shot that doesn't get to the net. The Red Wings clear it down the ice. Buffalo on the power play now. 1 minute remaining in the man advantage as the puck takes a bounce off the inboards into no man's land, and that allows the Red Wings to pin it down in the far corner of the Sabres zone. Drew Miller for Glenn Denning, who's done all the blue collar work down in the far corner to the right of Michael Neubert. Sabres finally come up with a puck free and clear on the left wing side. Tyler Ennis will shoot it in to the Red Wing zone. Cromwell waiting for it, leads it. Red Wings get the right bounce and will shoot it down the ice. Neubert steers it to the far corner. 22 seconds left in the Buffalo power play as Myers has to turn away from some pretty good forecheck pressure by Darren Helm. He's with the play all the way to center into the Wings blue line. Drew Stafford cross ice for Myers. He shoots it in. Howard out to lead it. Red Wings with 2 seconds left in the penalty. Johan Franzen, who steps back onto the ice now. Sabres with a puck in their own zone just inside the blue line. The Red Wings will make changes. Strachan trying to thread the needle, looking for Gianta up front. Takes a deflection. Here's Girgensons driving in. Girgensons to the net shot. Walker on a 10-foot post. Can't get to the puck to score! Trailing on the play, Brian Flynn gets his first of the season.
Yeah, this was just hard work. You're going to drive the puck to the net. You're going to get a first opportunity. Girgensons got the whereabouts to find that puck and wrap it around again and stay with it. He just didn't turn away. Everybody else coming down through. You see Brian Flynn go to the net, stop, pull himself back a little bit, and wait till Girgensons comes out the opposite side. And there that puck's going to bounce perfectly right out to them. Showing patience, standing in front of the net. But Girgensons taking that puck with a great second effort, busting his way back to the front of the net for the great opportunity. Wide open Brian Flynn puts it in.
Brian Flynn getting his first of the season. A number of Sabres looking for that stat. He's put Buffalo in the lead here on their 9th shot of the hockey game, their second of the period. Red Wings in behind their own net with 12 and a half to go now in the second period.
Buffalo's first goal, his first of the season, scored by number 65.
Evdom Kater with a tip. And across the Buffalo line. Sabres send it right back outside the zone towards center ice. He skated in over the line now. Bringing it over the line is Ristolainen. He drags a shot wide near side. Over on the far boards, Cody McCormick. Right at the hash marks. Puck jumps free between the circles in the Red Wing zone. Nice job by Mazzaros standing up his man. Thomas Tatar at center ice. That slows up the Red Wings' progression, and DeKeyser's got to go back into his own end. Long pass goes the length of the ice, and this is an icing call against the Red Wings.
You see a little more jump in the Sabres step here. And I just think a lot of things that have happened in this game, you know, being able to contain Detroit, not giving up a ton of opportunities here so far, limited them to 12 shots here almost halfway through this game, and able to generate one on their own, start going on the power play because of some hard work, drew some penalties. There's some nice things happening with them right now. You just see their heads just coming up, a lot of communication. Confidence is an amazing thing when you can gain a little bit.
Face-off won by the Red Wings. Smith with a pass up ahead of the right wing, and it's Jericho who sends it into the Buffalo zone. Sheahan over on the far boards. Bumped off the puck to Drew Stafford. Banks it. It's high into the air before Tatar knocks it down. Brendan Smith will try a pass up ahead of the right wing. Jericho with a tip in behind the net. Neumann out to play it. Torrey Mitchell waiting just inside his own blue line. Got a piece of the puck. Red Wings shoot it back in, but they would be offside, so they have to tag up. Allow some room for Strachan. Centered ahead, Zadorov. Crisp cross-ice pass. Finding the stick of Tyler Ennis, but then the puck deflects out of play. And with 11:15 to go in the second period, first of the year for Brian Flynn, as the Buffalo Sabres leading Detroit 1-0. 1-0 Sabres with 11:15 to go in the second period. Time for our New York State Smokers Quit Line trivia question of the night. The Detroit Red Wings hold the current record with 23 consecutive playoff appearances. Our question tonight: which NHL team is number 2 on that list? And if you're a real sports aficionado, we'll take that a little bit further when we give you the answer later on. Bob's already thinking about it. Between the benches, watching the Sabres work down low in the wing zone. Drew Stafford shielding that puck for Tyler Ennis. As the cycle comes up top, Mazzaro slides over to keep it in. Stafford has the puck bounce over his stick. Now it comes to the side of the net. Mitchell got a piece of it. Stafford now tries to come out near post. Does get a shot away. Howard with the save, and Nyquist in the corner. This sends it to open ice. Tyler Ennis will get there first. Plays it down into the corner. And the Red Wings to the line, but not out. Ennis keeps it in. Ennis is having a heck of a game for Buffalo here this afternoon into this evening. And now it's turned over. Red Wings, 2 of them to center. Sabres have 3 men back. Helm will stop and wait for help. Plays it back into the skates. Kindle with a shot. That one's wide. Tyler Ennis against Helm. Over on the far boards, down at the hash marks. Helm takes it to the corner, under the goal line. Ennis stays goal side of him. Mazzaros picks it up now. Franson trying to come out near side. Wanted a little backhand here at the near post, but Ennis got enough of the stick. Franson comes out again. Ennis pokes it away, and Drew Stafford sends a pass ahead to Matt Molson at center with 1 man back. Molson trying to chip it and chase after. Molson comes up with it and sends it in front, and it's covered up by Jimmy Howard. Team defending leads to a rush the other way for the Sabres, who lead at 1-0.
Now our forward replay, we're going to take a look at Tyler Ennis. Hard work, just using his feet, trying to get around his men. He's able to draw 3 penalties to this point here tonight. And he just come in, continue to work hard down low, making things happen. And here, another great defensive play. Look at this, he's dog tired. He's got nothing left, but he's able to stop and start. Doesn't get away from the man, just stays with him and waits for him to make the first moves. Able to cut him off, and they able to get the puck out of the zone. Nice job.
Bouncing puck into the Sabres end of the ice. Following up on the play with a backhand on net is Smith, and now Miller playing it to the near side. Kindle with a shot, that's blocked. We're good. Keeps it in down on the near corner. Really tied up, and the Sabres will bring it back with Zadorov. And his pass coming back into the Buffalo zone. Sabres to center in the shoot-in. Kindle back Jurgensen's after the bouncing puck behind the net. Can't find it in his skates. And Glendening comes up with it for Detroit. Clears the puck outside the blue line. Sabres on the Detroit side of center. Shoot it right back in before they change it up. Buffalo out shooting Detroit 4-3 in this period. And it's 1-0 on the scoreboard for the Sabres. Red Wings chip it into the near corner. Georges has his pocket picked by who else but Pavel Datsyuk. Pass for Zetterberg up high in the Buffalo zone. Now Datsyuk here in the near corner. Georges all over him. Datsyuk shielding the puck. Brings it back towards the point. At the blue line. Datsyuk finds a way to get that pass away. Here's Zetterberg in the high slot, and that shot is blocked. And Josh Georges, who leads the NHL with shot blocks, getting in the way of that one. Datsyuk with Georges on him again here in the near circle. Datsyuk turns inside in the slot. Good puck position by the Sabres defensively, and the turnover eventually onto the stick of Cody Hodgson, then tipped away, and then Josh Georges right in front of the net lost it. Red Wings now, Zetterberg in the near corner. Has it back to the line. There's a shot, that one just wide. Brendan Smith twisting that one towards goal. Larson trying to carry it out. He gives it right to Zetterberg, who keeps it in. Far corner. Larson turns back into Zetterberg. Zetterberg now towards the goal. Continues to shield that puck. 7:50 to go in the second period. Now he cuts to the slot in the backhand, and that one wide. Riddick being put on here by Zetterberg is finally knocked to the ice by Tyler Myers, who gives him an extra shot. Now a pass in the slot, and the shot deflects. Brendan Smith jumped into the play, and in the low slot had a great chance right in front of Michael Neuberg. Datsyuk goes cross ice. Sheahan off the bench and in behind the Buffalo net. Two defenders meet him. Sheahan then hit to the boards. Cody Hodgson comes over. Puts his hip into him. Sheahan will play it in behind the net. Tatar facing the glass. Brings it to the near corner. Now to the circle. Stops and takes a look. Red Wings start their movement off puck. Nobody standing still. Tatar takes the shot and scores. Top of the far circle. And with 7:05 to go in the first, we are tied at 1.
Wow, the Sabres at the beginning of this shift were fantastic. They kept everything outside. They were man-to-man. Cody Hodgson didn't get the puck out. It created a turnover down low, and from that point on, Detroit just rotated and worked the puck, so there was nothing left of the Sabres. You're seeing every one of those guys on the ice can barely stand up for the most part, and when they did, the Detroit Red Wings were able to make it a couple, 3 fresh guys out there, and they just took advantage of it because the Sabres couldn't get to the bench. That's how important it is. When you get a chance to get the puck out of the zone, it's got to go, because that kind of thing happens if you don't.
Well, Rod, they made it look like they're on a power play. Off puck, everybody moving around, and that's what's tiring out the Sabres as well.
Yeah, but they were able to get fresh troops though too, because their bench was right there, so they were changing one at a time, and the Sabres couldn't get anybody out there, so they were out there for a good, I bet, over a minute.
Sabres now back in the Red Wings zone. Mazzaro's looking for the tip from Delorier at the near post, and Nicholas is there, had a chance, unmarked, and the Red Wings will bring it out to center. This is Nyquist with the lead pass and a shot that doesn't get through off the stick of Johan Franzen. And Delorier clears the puck out to center. Kindle fires it in, takes a bounce right back in front of the Sabres. Now we've seen a couple of those this year. Here's Brian Flynn taking a look far corner. He tries to move the puck, but he's goes down right away. And then Rasmus Ristolainen is drawing a penalty here. Cross-checking will be the call. They're checking the far corner down in that left wing of the Buffalo zone.
Yeah, Detroit's starting to spend a lot of time here in the Sabres zone, and by doing that, we talked about the rotation process that Detroit likes to use, and then they just wait for that breakdown to try to take advantage of it. Bristol just gives his man a little push there. He's just going to bury him. Datsyuk. He just had a crumble. It's not much of a cross-check, more of a push down and in, but once again, back on the power play for Detroit.
Well, the Red Wings so far held at bay on the power play, and they're going to face off the Buffalo zone. Zetterberg top of the circle near side. Pass through his block, comes back to him. Zetterberg sends it down. Low pass in front. Nyquist looking forward in the low slot. Applicators in front of the net as well. Shot from the point, and that one doesn't get to the net. Way over on the far boards, kept in on the line. Zetterberg now. Turns down to the right wing corner. Lays it in behind the Buffalo net. The turn pass is blocked, and Tyler Myers takes it away and puts it off the boards and down the ice. for 2 with 3 shots. The Red Wings on the power play coming into this, their third man advantage of this evening. 5:26 to go in the second period. Red Wings cross the Buffalo line. Just a foot inside the line. Advocator almost stripped of the puck, but he keeps possession, plays it off to the left wing side. Advocator goes to the front of the net. Zetterberg coasting around here on the near side, takes the pass in the circle. Lays it back up top. Kronwall this time to the left side. Back to Kronwall with a shot. Deflected in front. Didn't get to the goal. Sabres get it to the line, not out. Kronwall shot. That one. He was looking for the deflection from Nyquist. He missed it. It comes off the end boards. Nyquist with it though. He of the 4 power play goals this year for the Red Wings. Zetterberg back up top. Now to the right circle again. 38 seconds to go on the power play. Red Wings begin their movement off puck again to change the look, and a shot from the far circle stopped by Michael Neubert up in the shoulder area, and a faceoff will come in the Buffalo zone. Now a discussion to the right of the Buffalo net.
Yeah, the 2 number 8s, McCormick, Advocator. And you see the Sabres once again, long shift in their zone, and by doing that, when you're defending, it seems like you use twice the energy as you do if you're on the offense, because you're constantly moving. Defending, you're stopping and starting, and that takes an awful lot more out of you. And you're seeing these guys come off the ice at the end of each shift here, and they look pretty darn tired.
Sabres win possession off the faceoff their own end, and with 27 seconds to go in the penalty kill, the 1-1 game, it's sent in behind the Red Wings goal, where Dan DeKeyser will skate it out. The center ice with a pass to the left wing, tipped in behind the Buffalo net. Tyler Myers is there. And he'll lean his way around front and then shield the puck. Sheahan comes up with it, tries to walk in front. Sabres collapse well and come away with a 2-on-1. Carrying in down the left side is Myers. Myers puts the leg up to cut to the net. Here's a chance for Girgensons. The trailer on the play, and Howard stays with it and covers up for a face-off. With 4:06 to go in the second period, Tyler Myers and Zemgus Girgensons with a rush. We're tied at 1. The Connors and Ferris replay. Western New York's workers' comp attorneys.
Well, Tyler Myers getting up in the play. He turned the puck over almost in front of his own zone right there, giving him a great opportunity, but nevertheless, jumps up, grabs the puck, comes down. He just drops his shoulder. He realizes he can't make the pass. He's going to try to muscle it through to the net. Howard makes the initial save. And Zemgus Girgensons coming up, following right here. Gets one chance, but he gets double teamed and pushed off to the side, and Howard's able to make the cover.
Well, we know that 28's not going to shy away from hanging around where he's going to take a knock or two. I think he actually enjoys it. Fires him up. Red Wings off the draw. Pass ahead. And a drop pass and a shot goes high. Is good transition by the Red Wings. Anderson, Denning, and Miller. Sabres get the puck lifted high to center ice. Bouncing puck. Torrey Mitchell staying with it over on the right wing in the shoot in. Takes a bounce right to the side of the goal. Howard's going to leave it. Red Wings now to center. This is Anderson in over the Buffalo line. Sends it down to the corner. Myers behind the net. Pressured right away by Glendening, but Myers escapes away from that pressure. Short pass up ahead. Now they're trying to jump up into the rush, but now he's got to get back as the Red Wings with the interception of that pass. Nikita Zadorov fails himself out of some trouble over on the far boards, and now it's the Sabres to center. Here comes Girgensons again, leaning his way down the left wing. Sends it to the far corner. Drew Stafford waiting for it. That's the puck down. Over comes Girgensons to help out. Comes in behind the Red Wings goal. Now out the near side. Back by Zetterberg. Now the near side. Jonathan Eriksson with a shoot in. Buffalo zone, far corner. Just the line in. Carrying it right in and away from pressure at the same time. And Matt Molson. His backhand into the Detroit zone, taken by Pavel Datsyuk. And sent deep in the Red Wings corner, and then back to this near side. Didn't connect with Zetterberg, and an icing call coming up against Detroit with 2:33 to go in the second.
Well, Zadorov coming into this game had only played 6 minutes up to this point here tonight, and he's going one-on-one with one of the best players in the NHL, Pavel Datsyuk. He realizes what he has to do, comes across, gets a piece of the puck, gets it away, and able to get it off into the corner after under pressure. Doing a nice job to this point, controlling himself, jumping up in the play. No hesitation whatsoever in his game here so far.
Talk about players having guts and doing different things in the game, Rob. You commit to blocking that kind of a move on Pavel Datsyuk, you either get it done or you're on a highlight reel.
No, you're right. You either get a piece of him or the puck, or you're right. He's going in on a one-on-one on the goaltender.
You don't want to be that defenseman that draws the ooh and ah from the crowd with 13 on the ice. Puck goes up into the crowd, and that it's a delay of game call charge here against Detroit. So in a 1-1 second period with 2:26 to go, here comes the Sabres power play.
Yeah, Henrik Zetterberg serving this penalty. Mike Babcock there, he's kind of wondering what's going on here a little bit. He's just going to get this puck, and right here he's just going to turn, he's going to fire it, and it just pops straight up and out.
Drew Miller off the face-off will send Buffalo back into their own end. Sabres power play by the time they get their own blue line with 1:43 left in it. Ennis at center. Tyler Myers. He jumped into the play down low a lot more, trying to chase after his own shooting. And Red Wings say go back and try again. Detroit able to make changes. So already 30 seconds, over 30 seconds gone on this power play. At a perfect time of the period too, if Buffalo want to have a chance to regain the lead here, but they're going to have to go back behind their net again. Red Wings, and Neuberg's got to play the puck behind the net with a pretty intense forecheck coming from Anderson. Sabres get by that. Now it's Tyler Ennis over on the right wing side. Shot in behind the Red Wings goal. Not a blue jersey there though, and it's cleared back to the far boards. Right wing side. Gianta tried to backhand it back to the point, comes back to him. Maybe that's a good thing because the Sabres able to keep it into some open ice here on the near side. Now Gianta out to the goal line. Cromwell gets to him, and then it's hammered down the ice by Eriksson. With 42 seconds left in the power play. Ryan Flynn and Thomas Tatar, the two goal scorers in a 1-1 game. 1 minute to go here in the second period. Georges down the left wing behind the net. Girgensson, puck comes in front. Torrey Mitchell can't get to it. Two men back for the Sabres as the Red Wings have the puck at center, and it's sent in by the Kaiser behind the Buffalo net. Denning keeping watch. 18 seconds to go in the power play. 40 seconds left in the period as Rasmus Ristolainen turns back at his own blue line. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Fans wanting this thing to go north-south. Down the right wing, Girgenssen's with the shoot in. Far side, Myers, maybe the chance for one more shot with the extra skater. Zetterberg's back onto the ice. He's hanging around center. Red Wings have the puck. This is Miller carrying to the Buffalo line and in. Zetterberg with a backhand trying to feed it through. That one's blocked before it gets to the net. Kindle keeps it down in the corner. 10 seconds to go in the period. Play in the Buffalo zone. To the left of Neuberg, checking over his shoulder as he hugs that post. 1 second to go, and this period's going to end with a lot of action down on that corner, he said sarcastically.
Well, there was a point in this second period where you thought maybe the Sabres were going to be in some trouble. The Detroit had turned it up. They started generating some good zone time. They had the rotation going, and the Sabres were going in circle. But they weathered the storm. Coming out of this 1-1, they were able to get a goal. Coming into the third period, once again, they've given them themselves to win a hockey game.
They are indeed in it. The goal from Brian Flynn at 6:55, his first of the year in the second period. Thomas Tatar at 12:55 tied it up. His third of the year with the wrist shot. Brian Duff, Brad May with the intermission when we come back to Buffalo in a 1-1 hockey game.
Sabres Hockey on MSG is brought to you by Northtown, the official automotive dealer of the Buffalo Sabres. That's selection and savings to the nth degree. That's Northtown. Units, Western New York's only organ, eye, tissue, and community blood center. Injured? Don't wait. Call 8. Call Celino and Barnes, Western New York's largest personal injury firm. The Gates Vascular Institute, building a healthier future. Integrity Office, supplying solutions to all your business needs. Brought to you by Kia. Visit BuffaloKiaDealers.com to learn more.
Buffalo opened the scoring here at First Niagara Center against Detroit. Zemgus Girgenssen's already 3 goals in 4 career games against the Wings. Picks up an assist on the Brian Flynn tally, his first of the year. He goes up and over Jimmy Howard, who was fallen on the play. And the Wings, though, had an answer. It came at 12:55. Excellent play by Thomas Tatar. Whether it was a slight screen on Neubert, I'm not sure, but regardless, Sheahan and Datsuk get the helpers. Pavel Datsuk has simply owned the puck, even though Detroit is 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. Big number there was Buffalo, earning 4 power play opportunities in the period. However, just 1 power play shot. Now, they weren't full power plays. Some of them were interrupted and shortened down, but obviously hoping to get a little bit more through if they get another power play opportunity. I can tell you this, though, when you look at the Corsi number and where all these shots are coming from, interesting to note, of the 9 in the red zone that Buffalo has in the game, all 6 of their second period shots were from that zone in tight around Jimmy Howard. It's where they have to continue to dig to try to dig through what has been a tough 40 minutes against Detroit, but they're certainly in position to get the next one and maybe take this one home. Puck possession again, as you would expect with the number of power plays they were afforded in period 2. Much better as far as the Sabres were concerned, and especially with puck possession in the offensive zone. Unfortunately for the Sabres, it simply didn't translate into total shots on goal. 21-65, Stafford and Flynn each have 3 shots in the game so far. We're even up heading to the final frame. We'll see you next on the Lexus post-game report.
Well, with the changes in the lineup defensively, you look to a player like Rasmus Ristolainen, who last night played the most minutes he has all this season. I know it's still a young season, but at just over 20 minutes of play. But through 40 minutes tonight, he's played 15 minutes and 42 seconds. So number 55 is being leaned on by this Buffalo coaching staff as we get this third period underway, and Buffalo from left to right in the final frame in the home dark jerseys. And here's Cronwall now leading the wings in over the line for Zetterberg with a shot, and that deflects high off the mesh.
Passion, talent, and hard work help the Sabres perform at their best.
That's also what helps us win injury cases. Give us a call.
Pavel Datsuk, 16 points in 16 games against the Sabres coming into this one here tonight. On the faceoff, and the Sabres come up with it. Myers trying to thread the needle for Mitchell at center, but he's crowded by Red Wings. And it's brought back by Brendan Smith to center. And now Datsuk, left wing for Justin Advocator, who sends the puck right onto the stick of Tyler Myers. And now Ennis, poke checked as he tried to dance through the logo at center ice. Zetterberg with a backhand pass for Datsuk. Good lane presence there by Tyler Ennis to break that one up, but Buffalo will be charged with an icing call.
Well, Dan, there was talk after the Detroit goal, what had happened there. The next TV timeout, when Josh George came to the bench along with Neubert, the both of them talked. Neubert said, hey, look, I leaned down, couldn't see it. Josh was like, yeah, it was stuck between my two feet. I wasn't able to get a piece of it. He says, yeah, if you don't think you're going to get it, let me see it. Let me have it. Just get out of the way and let me have it. So nice to see the two guys coming back, not pointing fingers at each other, talking, trying to figure out what happened there so it doesn't happen again.
Off the draw, Nyquist behind the Buffalo net. Near circle turns and sweeps it on goal, but Neubert gets the stick down, deflects it up. Draw stays in the Buffalo zone. And that positive communication will be necessary here in the third period. Third periods have not been kind to Buffalo this season. But no time like the present, Rob, to turn that tide against a good Detroit team.
No, you're right. And when you talk about communication, most people, if they're not involved in the game, never played, they don't know how important it is and how big of a deal, little small things like that are. When something happens, you talk about it instantly. If you wait too long, you wait to see video after the game, it doesn't mean quite as much. But if you can attack it, approach it right when it happens, a lot of the times you can solve the problem, you can fix it, and normally it doesn't happen again.
Ristolainen in the far corner to the left of Neubert, trying to find a lane to get that puck out of the zone. And it's Cody McCormick ahead to Deloria, who tips it to center. Red Wings, though, keeping possession all the way back into their own end. Just underway here in this third period. The new fans to the Buffalo Sabres, they might not be aware that Ted Nolan played parts of 2 seasons with the Red Wings. Actually drafted by the club in the 5th round back in the 1978 NHL entry draft. Right now watching the Sabres in a 1-1 tie 2 minutes into this third period. Shot from the point was wide of Neubert. Now looks to his left. Deloria looking to finish his check. Over on the far boards. Thomas Tatar in the corner. Puck comes to the side of the net. Taken away by Mazeros. And The Red Wings make a change. Helm's going to force the play out from behind the Buffalo net though. Pass over for Delorier. Left wing boards, end of his shift. Gets it into the Detroit zone. Red Wings seeing Buffalo changing. Here's Yurko down the left wing. Takes a shot. Glove save made by Neubert. Puts a little English on afterwards just to let everyone know he made the save. Red Wings with 19 shots make that now 20 in this game. Mike Robitaille breaks the Sabres performance down, and he'll take your calls Wednesday mornings at 8:30 with Howard and Jeremy on the home of the Buffalo Sabres, WGR Sports Radio 550. Talk about Ted Nolan's connection with the Red Wings. Buffalo general manager Tim Murray spent the season as a scout with Detroit, 93-94. Sabres now off the right wing boards. Gianta deep in the Red Wing zone, but it's Kindle playing it over the far boards and out to center. Stewart stops at center and turns it right back in to Jimmy Howard with a little hopper. And Howard corrals to his left.
Yeah, this is what the Sabres are going to need to do this whole third period. Just get the puck low into the Detroit zone and work about it. Brian Trottier talked about it after the first, how important it was keeping it into their zone. Just nice soft dumps where you're able to get it back. Get the defensemen for the Detroit Red Wings back on their heels looking over their shoulders. They believe that's where they're the most vulnerable, and that's where they take advantage of them, and they're going to make a bad pass at some point if you can keep the pressure on.
Ristolainen pinching down the boards here on the Red Wing side, trying to keep it in the Red Wing zone. Detroit get it out to center. Matt Molson did a good job of sealing off Glendening, trying to get after that puck in the Buffalo zone. Rasmus Ristolainen in the near corner. Sends it cross ice. Now Matt Molson to the backhander. Too far for Gianta. Gergensen's up there as well. Kronwall with a pass to start the Red Wings up to the Buffalo blue line. Down here in the left wing, trying to center is Drew Miller. Cup winner with Anaheim back in 07. Now with this, the new version of the Detroit Red Wings. They've got players that are playing in their entry-level contracts. They've got players that are 6 years into 12-year deals. The amount of work that's gone into building and maintaining this success with this franchise. There's a chance in the slot is trying to lean their way in. Zetterberg and Advocator in front of the net. This is top line. Datsuk, who's brought down over on the far boards, gets back up. Sabres have the puck. Here's Stafford for Rasmus Ristolainen. And the Sabres defenseman ahead now for Stafford. Nice job to knock that one out of midair. Gains the Detroit line. The Kaiser with him over in the far corner. Played back to the far point. Georges sends it behind the net. It'll come down to the near side. Torrey Mitchell plays it behind the Red Wings goal. Stafford down in the far corner trying to get to the puck. Datsuk has it in his skates. Torrey Mitchell knocked down, gets back up again. Red Wings with a 3-on-2. Here's Datsuk in front, and he puts the Red Wings up 2-1 with a quick release. Torrey Mitchell could not get back into the play to eliminate the 3-on-2. And with 15:33 to go in the third, the Red Wings have their first lead of the hockey game.
Well, Torrey Mitchell got caught back in the zone. He takes a shot to the face there. Down he goes. There's no call made. He realizes no call is made. He gets back up. Just not able to get back in quite fast enough. You've seen the defenseman there kind of go down and look and try to block the pass off, not realizing there wasn't a man coming in the slot. And right here you see Advocator's stick come up, catch Torrey Mitchell. But when you put Pavel Datsuk in this area by himself, one-on-one with the goaltender, I don't like the goalie's odds.
Pavel Datsuk goals in 4 straight games. This is 830th game played. 277 career goals. Quite the talent. Red Wings now to center. Stopped as they try to move up. Here's Delorier in over the Detroit line. Puck is knocked away from him. Now Brian Lashoff. And to Riley Shane, who tips it in the middle of the ice for Thomas Tatar. Tatar funnels the puck to the front of the Buffalo net. Sabres back defensively, though, in front of Neubert. Turning with it, Cody McCormick beside his own net. Big pass off the boards, taken by Strachan. He'll go off the glass and out. Left wing, too far for Flynn. Sabres changing, Red Wings do the same. Cromwell shy of center. Erickson. Pass up ahead. There's a shot that's wide into the near boards. Stewart pokes it out to center. Turning with it is Franson. His pass. Reflects all the way here to the near corner. Taken by Stewart. Sabres trailing for the first time tonight here in this third period. Helm against the boards. Larson watching him. First game back for the Buffalo Sabres. Now Franson in behind the net. Two Sabres defensemen marking the post, and Franson sends it to the far post. Shot goes wide and back out the near side. Stewart chasing after it. The center lifts it into the Detroit zone. Tony Hudson after it. Stewart now behind the net. Looks out front for Hudson. Takes the shot, and that's high off the glass. Franson. Pass ahead to Helm. He'll get to center. Helm leaning his way over on the right wing side, then stripped to the puck. Josh George is doing the work, and now Tyler Myers at center for Buffalo on the right wing in the shoot-in. Far corner. Jurgensen's had his stick on it. Now it comes in front. Howard's down. Loose puck in front. Comes here to the near boards. Abdelkader trying to move it out. Datsuk follows up, and he'll lead the charge of 3 to the Buffalo line and in. For Zetterberg. Far circle. Zetterberg cuts in, takes the shot. Saved by Michael Neuvert with 13:17 to go in period number 3. And the Red Wings holding a 2-1 lead.
Sabres trail the Red Wings 2-1 with 13:17 left in this third period. Dan just got done talking about Pavel Datsuk's numbers. Well, how about the hardware he's got from the NHL? 2 Stanley Cups, 4 Lady Byng trophies, and 3 Selke trophies. It's pretty impressive.
He's just flat out fun to watch. I mean, he really is. He's entertaining, he's dynamic, and he does so many little things within the game too, Rob. He sees it so well.
It's just amazing. He's one of those guys that you may overlook sometimes because you don't hear the name all the time because of the Ovechkin, Crosby, but by far one of the greatest and most skilled players in this game.
On the puck now with 2 Sabre defenders watching to the far boards. Plays it back to the point. Cromwell now trying to wrist a shot through. Bouncer side of the net. Tyler Myers pokes it ahead. And it'll be chipped outside the zone by Matt Molson along the right wing boards. Molson will go to the bench. And the Red Wings will bring it to center. Datsuk from his own line. Abdelkader left wing. Puts it on goal. And Datsuk just does a skate by with Michael Neuvert covering up.
Now Michael Neuvert needs to slow this down a little bit. There's still 12:43 left in this third period. It's no time for the Sabres here to open it up and take huge chances because especially when this line is on the ice, they're going to take advantage of you. Wait till they get a change. Wait till you get another line out there. Then try to open it up a little bit and try to force something to the other end.
Face off to the right of Neuvert. Mitchell against Sheahan and wins the draw for Detroit. And the puck rolls right on to Neuvert through the defenseman's legs, and he's going to hold on for another face-off.
You just try to slow things down here, try to slow the pace of the Detroit Red Wings. Gained a little momentum after scoring that second goal. They got a little more jump in their step here. Sabres took a little bit of a step back. They just got to find themselves here, get back to where they have for a majority of this game.
22-year-old Riley Sheahan taking the face-off. Born not far from here. St. Catharines, Ontario native. Sabres off the face-off from their own end. Strachan trying to play it ahead for Tyler Ennis. Ennis couldn't turn it up ice. Right on to Neuvert. He keeps play moving, and the Sabres get it to the line, but not out. Sheahan backhands it in behind the Buffalo goal. Neuvert wrists it off the glass in the far corner. Now Drew Stafford. He'll play it back as Tyson Strachan has to turn away from Sheahan, who's a deep man into the forecheck. Strachan takes the drop pass, and still Sabres forced back in their own end. You know, the difference of where teams are, you see fans and you hear fans becoming restless with the Sabres breakout, but last night we watched the Pittsburgh Penguins team be patient with their breakout. A little different results at the end of that, though. Here's Strachan, though, with a shot, and that one hits a body in front, and Howard never did have to make the save.
Yeah, they hit Drew Stafford.
Yep. They're going to the bench now, feeling that one as the puck is in behind the Buffalo goal. And Denning has it taken away. And Zadorov plays it to an open wing here on the near side. Sabres changing. Lashoff and Kindle defensively as Kindle carries the puck to his own line. Now to center ice, winds to shoot it into the Buffalo zone. All the way to the far board, Sabres get there first. Lazzaro's trying to chip it up the boards near side. Delorier facing his own net sends a pass cross ice. Buffalo Sabres find a way with Delorier to center now with some speed over the Detroit line. Takes a shot on that one off the stick of Lashoff defending on the play. Helm will carry to center. Helm walks through two Sabres and then a whistle for an offside, and now some pushing and shoving down to the corners. Rasmus Ristolainen's in the face of Darren Helm. Franson involved with Cody McCormick.
Yeah, I like that. I like Ristolainen stepping up like this, sending a message to Helm. He took the shot after the whistle, and he comes across and he addresses Helm right here as the whistle goes. The shot's taken, and that's exactly what you want to do right there. Young man sending a message, and it's good to see. And Drew Stafford had a tough time coming off. He takes this Strachan shot right up in the head.
Oh my.
Yeah, right on the right side of the head, and he come back. And trainer Tim Macri spoke with him and worked with him for a couple minutes here, but he says he's ready to go.
Cody Hodgson on the faceoff for the Buffalo Sabres. The draw won by Helm, and the Red Wings will shoot it in the Buffalo zone. Ristolainen behind his own net. Keeps the play moving. Lazzaro's trying to get his stick on it. Johan Larsson now turns it over right in front of the net, and he's bailed out by Michael Neubert. He dives out to his left to cover up. Stop into any Western New York Tim Hortons location on Monday, November the 3rd to purchase an I Love the Buffalo Sabres donut for $1 plus tax, and all proceeds benefit the ECMC Lifeline Foundation.
Well, Maisie will be in that line. Loves his donuts.
Staying out of it. Every time I get involved, I get in more trouble.
Dan, we're together.
I get suspended. Here's Gianta lifting it deep into the Detroit zone. Molson down low behind the net. So looking for that first of the year. Here's Myers with a shot from the point. Howard with the save. And the Buffalo Sabres running into that same problem they've had for many games this year, Rob. That's low shot totals in the third period. That's just their second.
Yeah, and getting a shot from the point. It's just it's a weak shot by Tyler Myers, but he's just trying to do what he can do to get the puck to the front, and nobody there. Guys were caught out a little high. They were caught off to the side of the net. They got to do a little better job getting themselves to the front.
Off the faceoff. Gianta trying to drag the puck behind the net out of a crowd of skates. Over skates at Red Wings, lifted to the Buffalo line. Applicator almost slid it through. And now it's sent deep into the Buffalo zone by Brendan Smith. Myers has it taken away by Zetterberg. Trying to center in front, and Myers blocks that. And the Sabres now bring three to center ice. Three Wings are back again, though. Knocked down by a high stick. In the opinion of this man upstairs anyway, referees see it that way as well, and we get a whistle on the play and a timeout on the ice. The Red Wings with 2 goals tonight, Sabres with 1, 9:47 to go. Pleased to have a Karuba Collision highlight of the night, and our Karuba Collision of the game today, in tight. Tyler Myers doing the work he has to do against a player like Henrik Zetterberg. Take the right shoulder, knock him down, stay over him, don't let him get back into the play. Make the right decision, insist on Karuba Collision, the official collision repair centers of the Buffalo Sabres. And I make all that analogies by listening to Rob Ray, game in and game out. Describing plays just like that, Razor. Doesn't have to be a big hit, just stay on them.
I'd like to be able to see what you just talked about, but I have no monitors down here.
You don't need one.
No, you're right. I got the best one right in front of me.
You do so. Best view in the house. Red Wings shoot it in behind the Buffalo net. We've got 9:35 to go in a 2-1 hockey game. Red Wings get the lead. Their first lead of the hockey game after the Sabres got the first goal of the game, but the Red Wings with a couple of unanswered. Now with the puck in behind the Sabres net. Michael's trying to center in front. Shane with a shot, and that one is blocked. Comes back to the point far side. Eriksson going to send it down to the corner. Hennis will tip it outside the zone to center. Race for the puck, Torrey Mitchell. Won't get there ahead of Eriksson. Leads it off for his defense partner, and Cronwall and company will go to the bench. Sheahan leaves it behind the net. Sabres with 2 in deep on the forecheck, and the Red Wings with 1 pass. They're out of their zone. Third pass finds Helm. In over the Buffalo blue line, down the left wing circle. Good stick work there by Brian Flynn. Steals it back for Buffalo. Flynn to center with a shoot into the far corner. Hit by Franz into the line and out to center. Now Helm in a race for the puck with Ristolainen. Ristolainen some good jets there to get back in place of Helm, who sends it to the post near side. Jurkel with the tip, just couldn't get there. It bounced over his stick at the last second. And Kaiser the pass up to center. Now Franzen turns with it right up the middle. He's going to take a shot right into the logo. Michael Neubert, who makes the save.
You got to be aware when Detroit's winding up, they like to get that offside guy driving the far net, and you're going to see them just suck their way down to the outside and look for that long, hard pass across the ice and for the redirection. Michael Neubert was able to stay right with it. That's what they do. They just sort of sit back, they wait, they bait until you have some type of a breakdown, and then they attack quick.
31-18 draws Detroit as they win that one in the Buffalo zone. Zetterberg in the slot. Sabres collapse around number 40, get the puck back on the boards. Near side, Zemgus Girgensons trying to get it out. Matt Molson couldn't. It's turned over. Red Wings with a chance and a save made by Neuvert again as Zetterberg and company continue to hound Buffalo here in this third period. Sabres again being outshot in this third period, and Red Wings just pouring it on.
Yeah, outshot 11-2 to this point. The problem being is where the Sabres are allowed these shots coming from. There's one right in the high slot from Henrik Zetterberg. Wrong guy to have the puck in that position. You got to be a little more aware. You got to keep that puck to the outside. You got to work your way out of the zone, up the walls in this case, because they're clogging up the middle and they're picking it off.
Wingers jump in to help win that draw for the Red Wings. Down here in the left wing corner. Trying to turn to the net. Glendening bouncing puck comes back to him. Centers all the way back to the point, near side and outside the line. Puck slides into the Red Wing zone. The guys in the far corner. Plays it off the boards. Now Zadorov throws it in the middle of the ice. Right on the stick of Anderson, who's in the Buffalo zone. He lost it. Now Drew Stafford, right wing at center. Stafford with the shooting. Rides the end rail a little bit, settles down to the far side, right on the stick of Brendan Smith, who brings it back behind the net to the near corner. Sabres on that loose puck. Sent down low by Stafford. Here's Ennis sending it to the front of the net. Mitchell couldn't get a stick on it. Now Zadorov for Mitchell, who overskates the pass. Coming down from the near point, Strachan to keep it deep. Strachan continues his commit down in behind the net. Strachan still with the puck here in the near boards. 2 Red Wings on him. Now he gets some help as Mitchell slides over. Right in front for Stewart. One-time chance. They score! They stayed with it at that back post. And it looks like Chris Stewart's going to get credit for his first of this season.
And you're right. Very happy man coming in, but he earned it. He deserved it. We talk about guys going to the front of the net, paying the price. Well, you're going to see Chris Stewart. Once again, Ennis throwing it to the front of the net. Here's Stewart. He's tied up by his man. But there it is. He stays right with it. And Tyler Ennis comes around and he tucks this in. Let's see if it's across the line first. Oh, yeah, it's all the way across the line before Ennis gets there. But it's just Chris Stewart just powering his way to the front of the net and getting a lucky bounce there off Smith. But by causing the havoc, by going to the front like that, nobody able to recover from the bounce puck.
Clearing attempt off the linesman. Sabres keep it in the Red Wing zone. Here's Delorier cutting to the net. Sends it cross ice off the far boards. Mazzaros, no shot. Flynn down to the corner. Delorier turns with it behind the net. Stewart pass it under the heel of his stick now as Ristolainen comes down to keep it in on the right wing boards. Stewart trying to shield the puck. He turns it down in behind the net. Delorier turns to the net. Gets the shot away. Howard the save and covers up. And Delorier going to work down low with some physical play as well against Jonathan Ericsson.
Now that shift right there, leading up to the goal and following it up after the goal is exactly what the Sabres need. They need a little momentum change, and that's what they got after Detroit scored their second goal. Sabres took a little bit of a step back, playing way too much in their own zone, not being the same aggressive team as they have for the majority of this game. That shift right there by that line got them back into the groove here.
Sabres win the draw. Back to the line. Ristolainen for Molson. pass through the slot intended for Gianta. Bounces to the far corner, and Franzen gets it to the line and out. Still on the Red Wings side of center. Puck rolls into the Buffalo zone. 6 minutes left. 2-2 game, third period. Sabres finishing up another back-to-back. Molson on the far boards. Trying to get it out of the zone. Bouncing puck. Coming up with it is Rasmus Ristolainen. Certainly has to be approaching that 20-minute mark in this hockey game here tonight. And first shot right on goal by Jurko, and Neubert's going to hold on for a face-off. And this game locked at 2 apiece as the Buffalo Sabres tie it up here in the third. Save any way you can. Doesn't matter what piece of equipment you get on, especially against this guy. Pavel Datsyuk walks in, and watch on the replay here. Upper shaft of the stick reaching out. No, sir. That's our Toyota Big Save, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. 28 saves for Michael Neuvirth tonight, and again, goaltending not an issue for the Buffalo Sabres, and they've got a pair of goals here against the Red Wings. Face-off to the right of the Sabres goal. De Kaiser off the draw with a shot that deflects right on, and a quick pad by Neuvirth keeps us tied with 5:36 to go.
You talk about goaltending has not been an issue. You're right. Neuvirth's been on the ball here tonight, tracking the puck very well, handling his rebounds very good in most cases too. This one was just a little blooper coming in, and sometimes they're hard to judge, but he stayed with it, able to make the save and cover it up.
Abdelkader off the draw, sandwiched down low in the Buffalo zone. Stafford trying to move it up the boards. Datsyuk gets in the way of that. Myers will try it with a pass to the far corner. George's short pass ahead. Sabres to center, lift a high one in. De Kaiser brings it down with a glove, puts it onto the ice. And the Red Wings will bring it back to center ice. Zetterberg crosses the Buffalo line. Datsyuk trailing, comes up with a puck. Open ice for Datsyuk down on the right wing side. Takes it in under the goal line. Tried a little whoop-de-doo into his skates there, but Sabres take it away and send the puck the length of the ice. An icing charge coming up here against Buffalo. The Buffalo Sabres have launched a free mobile app. It allows users to earn points and redeem them for Sabres merchandise, tickets, and experiences. Enter tonight's keyword Stafford to earn 10 points. For more information, visit sabres.com/fanadvantage. Ennis on the faceoff, wins in the Buffalo zone. Stafford trying to backhand it out, kept in by Thomas Tatar, but Torrey Mitchell takes that away from him. Sends it up ahead, and now it's Tyler Ennis into the Red Wing zone. He stops and turns. Dots for Stafford with a quick shot, and Howard with the save. A little peek beside him there to make sure he had it in the equipment.
Once again, Tyler Ennis making things happen, using his speed, but he's going to get in a position where it's 1-on-2. Realize he's got to buy some time, and that's exactly what he does. He's got his head up the whole time. Makes a nice play. Stafford ends up getting the shot to the net.
Jimmy Howard looks to his left. Flynn will take the face-off for Buffalo. He's got Strachan behind him. Stewart directly behind him. And off the draw comes to the near boards. Now here's Flynn under the goal line. Brought up the boards by Delorier. Flynn behind the net. Here's a turnover. Delorier with a one-timer from up top, and that one is stopped by Jimmy Howard. Red Wings not used to seeing players just throw the puck up the middle like that, and Brian Lashoff knows you better not do that again.
And Nick Delorier did not waste any time just taking this shot. And you're right, just throwing it kind of blindly. Bad pass on the backhand. And it was off the mark, but perfectly placed. Nick Delorier wastes no time. One-timer trying to catch Jimmy Howard off guard.
Lashoff's first game of the year. He got a couple of pats on the bench from his teammates after that. And things are going well. You can do that. Here's Anderson now for the Red Wings. His shot, pad save made by Neuvirth. Kicks it to the far boards. Puck exits the zone. Left wing to center. Stewart and Delorier after it. Delorier tried to shoot it in deep. Red Wings come up with it. And we now have 4 minutes remaining in this third period, tied at 2. Red Wings to center. This is Helm, right wing. Off the boards, he's hammered. Nikita Zadorov as Helm tried to gain the zone. And the big defenseman said, "You're going nowhere." We'll be talking to Rob about popcorn after that if the Sabres can pull out a win here. Olsen, left wing boards, taken to the glass, keeps the puck deep in the Red Wing zone. Ristolainen turns and takes a shot from the near side. That deflects from Azaros over at the far point. Gianta trying to get to the puck. He's tied up in front of the net. Now here's a chance. Zengus Girgensson fires. Blocker save made by Jimmy Howard, and he kicks it off to the right wing side. That brings Helm to center. To the Buffalo line and in. Off the glass, right back in front of the net. Mazeros stayed with that puck and takes it away from harm's way over to the far corner. Ristolainen, who's played the most minutes of any game this season so far tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. Now here's a turnover. Zetterberg walking in. Zetterberg, backhand save. Neubert in behind the net. Zetterberg just holding the puck down in the near corner. Sends it short side. Cromwell shot. That deflects behind the goal. 2:39 to go in the third period. 2-2 game. Cromwell keeps it in near point. Far circle. Bouncing puck. No shot. Sent back to the line. There's a shot through. Applicator in front. Might have blocked that one himself. Red Wings moving off. Puck Sabres sticks in the passing lanes. Breaking up plays. Eriksson keeps it in. Now at the near circle. Back to the line again. Cromwell. Eriksson with a shot. Pad save made by Neubert. And the rebound comes all the way out. Tyler Ennis to center. He'll shoot it in. Kind of hesitated. Then rips it in. He'll chase after it in the far corner. Eriksson now for Zetterberg. Right wing to center. Around Stewart. In over the Buffalo line. Zetterberg tries to wheel it in front of the net. Red Wings still have it. And it's up off the mesh. And out of play as Applicator tried to go high from a tough angle.
Yeah, this draw is coming outside too. But Nikita Zadorov, we've talked about a lot here tonight because of the game, and he showed some good patience. He's handling things very well, but look at this. Just stands up, and he gets a piece of Helm right at the blue line. And this is the kind of thing that we love to see out of this young man, picking and choosing when he has to. And here's Zetterberg with a great chance coming in, splitting the two defensemen and going to the backhand.
Playing his 9th game in the NHL tonight. Nikita Zadorov played 7 last year, his 2nd of the season here tonight. Red Wings back in their own end with 1:48 to go. Pass up the left wing. Tatar tips it into the Buffalo zone. Mazaros takes a quick look behind the net. Delorier down to help out. Puts it back behind the goal. Ristolainen in the far corner. Tatar stays on him. Takes him down. Sabres come up with the puck though. Good puck support here by Buffalo. 1:29 to go as the Sabres get the puck out to center ice. Delorier hitting hard trying to force that puck into the Red Wings zone, but Detroit get it back again. And the Red Wings finish up a change. And with 1:15 to go in the period, they're going to set it up completely right in behind the net. And you knew the likes of Franzen would be out of the ice. He's got the puck now. His first game back after missing 6. He's got some fresh legs, and over the line takes the shot. Saved by Neubert. Directed back to Franzen here in the near boards. 1 minute to go in the third period. Red Wings on the puck in the Buffalo zone. Down here in the near board, Sabres come up with it. Gianta to center. Puck is knocked down by Eriksson. Matt Molson chasing after him. Eriksson turns. Look out up the middle. Pass too far, and Neubert's going to hold on. As Yurko was looking for a quick hit pass up the middle there, he just couldn't corral it. 44.4 seconds to go in period 3.
Good decision by Neubert here, slowing this down. This gives them an opportunity for the Sabres to get the players out they want. The face-off man that they need to get. Cody McCormick's that man that's been called upon here.
Face-off to the left of Neubert. Cody McCormick and Pavel Datsyuk. Datsyuk wins it cleanly back to the Kaiser. Top of the zone, far point shot. It's blocked in front, and now the Sabres to their blue line and out to center. Gianta with a tip hit over the Detroit line. Cody McCormick down in the corner against Datsyuk. McCormick and Gianta. 28 seconds to go in the period. Applicator tips it out. Red Wings now with the Kaiser leading 4 red and white jerseys to center. In over the Buffalo line. Broken up by Myers, and it bounces back near circle in the Buffalo zone and lifted by Torrey Mitchell outside the zone back to the Red Wings blue line. Zetterberg at center. Pass over on the right wing. Detroit in the Buffalo zone. Near point. Finding and firing with a shot. Low line of the goal is the Kaiser. And that'll do it as the buzzer sounds on regulation time in a 2-2 game.
Now the Sabres, they lost a little momentum there in that third period, but be able to pull it back together, come up with that tying goal. They've done a good job for the exception of about maybe 5 to 7 minutes here tonight that they got away from their game plan a little bit, but good composure to this point. They got themselves in a great spot here going into overtime. They got some momentum going. They got guys moving the puck, and Michael Neuvirth looks great.
Well, it's the Buffalo Sabres and Detroit Red Wings tied at 2 thanks to the goal at 13:08 of the third by Chris Stewart, his first of the year. 2-2 through regulation time. The Buffalo Sabres tie it up in the third period after the Red Wings scored 2 unanswered. Time for our New York State Smokers Quit Line trivia question and answer. Red Wings hold the current record with 23 consecutive playoff appearances. Our question, which NHL team is number 2 on that list? The answer is Sabres played them already. San Jose Sharks, 10 consecutive playoff appearances. Go to the other major sports. NBA, San Antonio Spurs have been in the playoffs 17 straight years. Sharks at 10, as we mentioned. Pittsburgh Penguins, who the Sabres saw last night, have been 8 consecutive times.
Yeah, it's truly amazing the amount that these guys have been in the postseason, and for the consistency, I know it comes up to them. It's a lot of pressure on these guys every year to continue this routine of being in the playoffs. And a couple times last year, they weren't too sure if it was going to happen, and there was an awful lot of talk. You just imagine the pressure there would be on that man right there to make sure it happens again once this year. Well, tonight's scoring recap, we're sitting at 2-2. It started off in the second period. Zemgus Girgensons taking the puck to the net, and Brian Flynn picking up the garbage, able to put it up over the top of Jimmy Howard. Sabres get themselves in a little trouble here. Long shift to Tar, ties it at 1, and here's Datsyuk one-on-one. Not going to stop him in that position. He puts him up 2-1, and right at near the end of the third period, great work by Chris Stewart, powering his way to the front, able to push the puck in across the line to tie it at 2 to go into overtime.
How about Tyson Strachan? He's got 2 assists tonight, and the Sabres desperately needing points, Rob, from the defense. They're starting to get those. Tyler Ennis with the 1 assist tonight has 99 for his career.
Well, that's the way Strachan has played. Every night he's played, this is his third game. He's done a good job, and he keeps his game very simple. He doesn't try to do too much. He just gets the puck up the wall. He makes sure he gets it out. You very rarely see, the wrong pass or the wrong play or the turnover by the man. And, for the most part tonight, playing with Nikita Zazarov, the young kid with very little NHL experience, the two of them handled themselves extremely well.
4-on-4, Red Wings and Sabres. Let's have some fun, shall we? Datsyuk will take the face-off. Gionta for Buffalo. Zemgus Girgensons will skate up front with him. Tyler Myers and Josh Georges. And Datsyuk and Advocator, along with Eriksson and Cromwell, to start it off for the Red Wings, who have the puck from their own end of the ice. Eriksson carries over the Buffalo line. The drop pass finds Datsyuk near circle. Datsyuk dancing inside. 3 Sabres collapse on him. Eriksson takes a drop pass at the line. Datsyuk with it on the near boards. Watched by Gionta. Gionta staying goal side so far. Datsyuk, who now gets inside position. Penalty coming up on the play as Georges came over to help out. Goaltender's gone to the bench for Detroit for the extra skater. So an overtime power play is already happening here for Detroit. Advocator from behind the net sends it to the far board. Zetterberg turns it over, trying to play the puck into the middle. And Gionta will touch the puck.
And he's going to go to the box for hooking here.
They say he'll have a short skate to go to the box.
Yeah, he will. And he was just playing one-on-one over on the wall with Datsyuk. And Datsyuk just kept dips and diving, going, stopping and starting, going back and forth. And right here, when he decided to take the puck to the net, Brian Gionta hooked him up. So it's going to be 4-on-3 here.
Got the stat for the Red Wing power play. I'm afraid to say what it's been so far tonight because the penalty kill's done its job for Buffalo, and now down to 3 skaters. It's a little bit of a different story here in overtime. Red Wings win the draw. Zetterberg plays it back to the point. Now down to the near corner. Nyquist for Cronwall. Zetterberg far circle. There's a one-timer, and that one deflects wide, and the puck will come outside the zone. No sense in the Sabres chasing after this. They literally, Rob, have to survive this unless they get a real break up near the blue line on the turnover of some kind. Zetterberg carries in down the right side. Down to the corner with it. Josh Georges staying with him. Zetterberg trying to poke it up the far boards. Franson met by Tyler Myers. Sabres come up with a puck and they'll send it down the ice.
Great job playing the angles, not over pursuing the puck, not wasting any extra energy, just cutting the angles off. When the opportunity came, attack. They attacked two guys, able to come up with a puck.
Flynn, Strachan, and Ristolainen now out to defend as the Red Wings. Nyquist in the near circle at the dot. He'll play it back to the line. Kronwall, top of the far circle. Zetterberg, Kronwall again. Nyquist near circle. Sabres staying tight in front of their keeper. Red Wings to the outside still. Nyquist. 49 seconds to go in the power play in overtime. Back to Nyquist. His shot hits Franson in front. Nyquist again. Stick broke as he tried to follow through the crowd on that shot. He'll go to the bench. Red Wings keep the puck though. Franson stays in front of the Buffalo goal. Here's Datsuk with a one-timer. And oh, what a save by Michael Neuvert. Glove save with Franson in front of the net. And Neuvert goes for a skate and says, I got this. 33 seconds to go in the power play Detroit.
Well, great job by the Sabres with their sticks. They're getting their sticks into lanes here, and it's preventing them from making the pass clear that they want to do or take the original shot here. They're going to look to get Datsuk right here. The pass is going to come across quick. But Neuvert's able to read this puck. He's already over there. He's ready. He's waiting for this shot when it comes. Yeah, Franson's standing in front. Doesn't matter. He's able to see it coming through because he's already established his spot.
Well, his spot was established, and Rob, there wasn't a defenseman right beside him. That allows the keeper only have to worry about one guy.
Yeah. Detroit here is called a timeout. Babcock wants to make sure, with the time left, the 33 seconds he's got, that they know exactly what they're doing. This gives us time for the Miller Time moment. Tonight's Miller Time moment is brought to you by Brian Flynn. Brian scored the first goal of this hockey game, and it was his first goal of this season. And his last goal dates back to February 28th. So very happy man to get back on the sheet.
Well, and it looked like Jakob Kindle had them all tied up, engaged pretty well in front of the net, but Flynn just kept battling, got one hand on the stick, Rob, and went high with that shot. Face off to the left of Neuvert. 2:47 left in overtime, 33 seconds left in the penalty to the captain, Brian Gionta. Datsuk in the face-off circle. Girgensons for Buffalo, and off the draw. Puck comes to the near boards. Red Wings with possession. Kronwall up top. He'll walk to the center of the zone. The pass over to the far side as Datsuk moves around the ice. Now on the far wing. Here's Zetterberg scores. Tipped in front. No, he's been waved off. So
no goal.
Contact with Neuvert, perhaps, because that was bang bang. Unless Franson maybe got a piece of the Buffalo goaltender.
Yeah, he might have been down into the blue paint. We're going to take a look at the overhead here to see what exactly happened.
Ref's going to call it right away.
Yeah, let's see what 93 right here. Standing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and this draw is going to end up coming outside. But you see, big 93 just standing there. And he's just far enough back in the crease, and Michael Neuvert's trying to get out to the top of the crease. And when they make that contact, the referee's right there. Perfect call by the referee.
There wasn't a whole lot of contact, but you're right, Neuvert couldn't get out with Franson there. I mean, well, that's where Franson's made a living right there.
Yeah, that's why you'd think that he would have taken a quick look down to see where his feet were, make sure they were established outside the blue paint.
10 seconds to go in the power play in overtime. Red Wings, Zetterberg down the right wing boards. Down to the corner and plays it to the far side. Franson takes a look back to the point with it. He'll take it there. Gionta's out of the penalty box. Races back into the play. Here's Zetterberg near circle. Slides it to the far post. Neuvert the save, and the puck squirts free here to the near side. Sabres back to full strength. Zetterberg with the puck in the slot. Takes the shot, and Neuvert another save. Franson trying to jam it in. Neuvert at the post makes the stop. And the Sabres desperately trying to get the puck back so they can changing it out of their own zone, but Datsuk turning with it. 1:50 to go in overtime. Zetterberg leaning his way towards the net, in behind the goal, watched by Gionta. Zetterberg turns, far circle. Datsuk back to Zetterberg, and it's behind the net. Georges against Zetterberg. They continue their battle behind the net. Now Myers comes over to help out. Zetterberg twisting and turning. Myers able to get enough of the puck to play it up the boards near side. Brendan Smith comes down, and the Sabres able to get it out of their own zone, but an icing call against Buffalo, and so much for fresh legs. As every member of the Sabres bent over with their sticks on their knees, getting as much oxygen as they can, Rob, for this faceoff.
Well, they're going to try to stall here as much as possible, but it's going to be interesting to see how much they're going to allow them with. They see they're all taking big circles here. Jurgensen's just delaying as much as he can until everybody gets into position.
Red Wings off the draw. Smith turns at the near point. Under pressure, though, from Jurgensen, and the puck comes outside the line. Long change, though, in overtime this year, so the Buffalo Sabres who come up with a puck at center, and now they can get some fresh legs out there. Stewart takes it back into his own zone. 1 minute to go in overtime as it's lifted down the ice in a roller. Flynn will get there first. He sends it up top. Here's a chance. Lazarus on the backhand. Still with a puck in behind the Detroit net. Tried to center. The Red Wings come back now. 3 of them to center ice. 2 Sabres back. Carrying over the line. Tatar in the slot. Drop pass back to the line. Smith makes one move. Fires a shot. And Neubert might have got a piece of that. 36 seconds to go. Ristolainen over on the far boards. Skates to the blue line with the puck and now to center ice. Rasmus Ristolainen continues his way into the Red Wing zone. Down the left wing corner now. In under the goal line. Justin Advocator with it right in front of his own net. Ahead now to Nyquist, right wing to the Buffalo line. Slowly, top of the circle, takes the shot and misses the net. Neubert knocked down as his teammates try to get to the front of the net to help him out. Nyquist on the loose puck. Nyquist trying to pass it across to Advocator. That's intercepted, and if it wasn't, Advocator had an empty net. 1 second to go in the period. Advocator back, and time runs out. We go to the shootout.
Tyler Myers with an excellent defensive play in front of the net, preventing that puck from going tape to tape to the 2 offensive players of Detroit down low. And he might have just saved the game for them.
We've seen this a few times tonight with Buffalo Sabres players just doing the little things, and one of them, Rob, you just mentioned it, sticks in the lane.
You're right. Here, look at Tyler Myers tying up his man, but realizing what's going on, he got a piece of it on his blade. It comes to his skates, and he's able to skate it out of the zone to waste the rest of the overtime.
So Tyler Myers and the big feet to the rescue there on that particular play. When we come back, shootout, Red Wings, Sabres. 2-2 through overtime. Buffalo and Detroit, time for the shootout. And after the clean straight, we don't have to wait for any kind of Zamboni action. We get right to it. And it's going to be Matt Moulson to start us off from left to right against Jimmy Howard. Moulson in over the line, top of the circles between the hash marks, face backhand, and the save is made by the Detroit keeper.
Well, Matt Moulson come in with not a ton of speed, but I think he was still deciding here what he was going to do. He kind of goes through his forehand, back to his backhand. Jimmy Howard follows it perfectly across. The puck goes directly into his glove as he's down.
First shootout attempt for this season by Pavel Datsyuk from center. Datsyuk between the circles, straight at goal, and no goal there as it's high and off the end glass, and Neubert, just enough of it, you'd have to think.
Well, he stayed right with it, Dan. You're going to see him. He's going to be in the blue paint here. He's backing off. But the quick reaction by Neubert. Datsyuk's going to the post and in, and he's able to get that blocker stick out and make the save.
Tyler Ennis 0 for 1 on the shootout from center ice. Well out is Howard. Ennis scores!
Yeah, Ennis comes in with a ton of speed. And this is what you like. I think the faster you go, the harder it is for the goaltender. Little stutter step there. And it kind of froze Howard a little bit. And when he did, he came right back on the forehand and just goes post and in.
Nyquist 0 for 1 on the shootout from center. Nyquist with speed as he rears in, and he slides it 5-hole on Neubert, who just looks down and says, yeah, I opened it up.
Yeah, and I think Michael really thought he was going to go high, and he was going to try to put that puck up to his glove side. And he comes in a little stutter step, but when he does, Neuvert opens right up. There was a huge hole.
Zemgus Girgensons 1 for 1 on his shootout attempts. His second attempt. He loves beating the Red Wings. Girgensons, Deke scores! Zemgus Girgensons continues his hot streak against the Wings.
Was that a beauty? This guy, he's just ice. And he gets into those situations, nothing bothers him. He just kind of goes, and it's just a normal routine for him. And that was a beautiful shot.
Now Zetterberg. Neuvert out to challenge to win the game. Zetterberg fakes! Michael Neuvert's got the puck, and the Sabres come off the bench with a win against the Detroit Red Wings.
And pretty excited guys here. I'll tell you, Michael Neuvert, excellent job here tonight. He gave his team an opportunity, came up with some huge saves, and none bigger than that right there on Zetterberg. Zetterberg thought he had him. He thought he had him. He was just going to slide it through easy. And Michael stayed right with it. Excellent job. Great to see these guys rewarded. Hard-fought game here tonight. They did a lot of good things right. They took a little bit of a step back, but they were able to regain their confidence, regain their composure, and come out with a huge win here.
Michael Neuvert, with that save, picks up his second career win against Detroit. And probably none sweeter than at this moment in time to come off of the game in Pittsburgh and pick up the win in front of the home fans. And the Sabres saluting their fans at center ice. Those who stayed enjoyed the outcome. And for details on the night that was, a good one for Buffalo.